Welcome in DSEJ Teleclass is a digital initiative by Directorate of School Education, Jammu and Kashmir. Myself, Chandar Prakash, Master Government High School, Durbil, Education Zone District, Inderwal District, Kishtwar. Welcome you, all of you dear students, in today's session on behalf of our worthy Director School Education, Jammu. So, our topic today is very beautiful poem of class 10th syllabus, and this poem is about students and teacher. So today it is going to be very interesting. What is the relationship between student and teacher in classroom? So let's go, before going to our poem, let's I have some questions for you. Can you answer these questions? Which is your favorite time to study in school? When you are at school, which is your favorite time? Whether it's morning time or evening time. If it's morning time, why? If it's evening time, why? Just think about it. And when you feel more bored, if you are in class, when you feel more bored, whether in first period or in last period, only do one option among these. If you do you feel bored in first period or in last period? And I think if I'm concerned in during schooling, in last period we feel little exhausted, little tired, so we can say that in last period we feel little bored. And I think your answer might be also around in that phase, and same as I have. I hope so. So our topic today is also around that answer of my answer. So our topic today is last lesson of the afternoon. Last lesson of the afternoon. This is poem which had been included in your syllabus, and this poem is written by D.H. Lawrence, right? So our topic today is last lesson of the afternoon, and this is written by poet D.H. Lawrence, and this is included in your class 10th syllabus of J.K. Bose, and name of our book is Tulip Series of English. So right students, and today I'll just have little introduction about this poet. English writer and poet. His collected works represent among other things. If you look at his character, so he was the greatest imaginative novelist of our generation. It is written by Froster. So Froster was also a writer. So Sons and Lovers, The Rainbow, A Woman in Love are his major works. So these are the works of D.H. Lawrence. He was in this era up to 1930, right? So let's move ahead. So the theme of the poem. What is the theme of the poem? It is so already I told you that Afternoon School is the last lesson was published in Lawrence love poems. It had been taken from the love poems, and the volume of the love poems is the School Master. It is written on the School Master. So this poem is on school teacher and his relationship with the student in one period. Which period? In the last period. So last period of the afternoon. And Lawrence creates in this poem pessimistic view and a drained mood in afternoon in school. So how he had written that mood of last lesson in the afternoon, that is what this poem is. So we are going to have thorough study of this, thorough look at this poem. There are some words which we will discuss later also, right? And this is when will the bell ring and end this weariness? Before we will study, we will discuss all these verses word by word or verse by verse. Let's have reading first. When will the bell ring and end this weariness? How long have tugged the leash and strained apart my pack of unruly hounds? I cannot start them again on a quarry of knowledge they hate to hunt. I can howl them and urge them no more. No longer can I endure the brunt of the books that lie out of the desk, a full 70 of several insults of bolted pages and scroll of solemnly work that they have offered me. I'm sick, and what on earth is good if it all. This is question mark also. There is question mark. What good to them or me I cannot see. Shall I take my last dear fuel of life to heap on my soul and kindle my will to a flame they shall consume their dross of indifference and take the toll of their insults in punishment? I will not. I will not waste my soul and my strength for this. What do I care for all that they do amiss? What is the point of this teaching of mine and of this learning of theirs? It's go down all the stream. What does it matter to me if they can write a description of a dog or if they can't? What is the point? To us both it's all my aunt. And yet I'm supposed to care with all my might. I do not and will not. They will not and they do not. That's all. I shall keep my strength for myself. They can keep theirs as well. Why should we beat our heads against the wall? Of each other I shall sit and wait for the bell. So this is what the poem is. So here the poem, first stanza, first lines of this poem are: when will the bell ring and end this weariness? When will the bell ring? Actually, when the period is ended, mostly the one period gets ended. It when the bell is ring, another period start with the bell. At the end of the all periods, again bell is ring. So the writer, the poet, the master, the writer, he is the teacher. That means the teacher of the classroom. When will the bell ring and end this weariness? So that means that our writer, our poet is tight. He's very tight, and he want to end this weariness. How long have they tugged the leash and strained apart? Now he had started to speak what is in his mind. How long have they tugged the leash? It means he tells us that how long I shall that pull them with that leather strap, like how long I shall by force pull them towards me, and strained apart my pack of unruly hounds. Hounds means those dogs which are used for that hunting. So unruly, uncontrolled hounds, uncontrolled dogs. I cannot start. Here unruly hounds had been compared with these students, his students. So my pack of unruly hounds. So here again, when something is compared, something is said to say something else, that is metaphor. I cannot start them again on a query of knowledge they had to hunt. So I cannot start. So here teacher means poet want to say that I cannot start now on a query of knowledge they had to hunt, because I cannot start, I cannot teach, I cannot start my class today because they had to hunt. It means they don't want to learn. It means he is in the classroom, hands between unruly hounds. And who are unruly hounds? His students. And he said that I cannot start, he cannot start the class, and because they hate to hunt, because they don't want to learn today, and I can howl them and urge them no more. I cannot howl them, that means I cannot draw them, I cannot pull them, I cannot request them, I cannot pull them towards me that let's start. And I cannot urge them. Urge means I cannot request them, I cannot force them more, right? And query means pray, query of knowledge. So here the poet is little depressed. These are some words which had been drawn from this stanza, and this is the meaning of these words. Although you can also note them, but the poet is little depressed here. He don't want to teach in the classroom because his students, he thinks that his students, which is the pack of unruly hounds, they did not want to learn, they did not want to study in this period. So he has compared his students with unruly hounds who are totally not interested in studies. So he in last line he said that I cannot howl them, I cannot request them, I cannot force them to learn. So that is how he had brought his view on the classroom on the last lesson of the afternoon in beginning lines of this poem. No longer now can I endure the brunt. And now here poet says that in previous line he said that I cannot urge them, I cannot howl them, I cannot request them, I cannot force them. No longer now I can endure the brunt. That means when he saw that his students are not interested, he feel insulted, he feel a little depressed that his students are not interested. So he said that I cannot brunt, I cannot endure that, I cannot tolerate it. Of the books that lie out on the desk, a full 3 score. Because books are lying on the desks, and how many books are there? Full 3 score. Full 3 score means 60. 1 score is equal to 1 score is equal to 20. 2 score is equal to 40, and 3 score equal to 60. So that means there are 60 books on the desk. It means there are 60 students there, right? Of several insults of bolted pages and scroll. So of several, because books are lying here and there, they don't care about their books also. So here when their books are lying here and there, so from this image the poet is little depressed. Of solemnly work that they have offered me. That means the work they had offered me is not good, up to the mark. So he feels insulted, he feels little depressed. I am sick, and what on earth is the good of it all? So he feels so sick. That means he is so, here we can also say that teacher or poet is so interested in teaching, but he is unable to draw the attention of his students, or we can say his students are totally not interested in studying, but teacher is very much interested in teaching them, right? I'm sick, and what on earth is the good of it? He is so sick, he had used these words, that what on earth is good of it all? So what can be better than this? What situation I am facing today, because my students are not interested in studies. My students are not interested in studies, and he feels it's a punishment for the teacher, it's an insult for the teacher. What good to them or me, I cannot see. And now poet says that what is good for them, whether I should continue to teach them, they are not interested, and should I teach them, or whether it's good for me to teach them, or whether it's good for them to be like silent spectator here. So I cannot see. The poet is not able, means teacher is not able to see what is good for them or for him. So this enjambment forces a reader down to the next line and the next. Here again this poetic device has been used. Blotted, these are some words which you can note down, right? This is the poetic device which has been used. And now there are students who are not interested all to study. This is what we get from these lines, that there are 60 students, books are lying here and there, they are not interested, they are poet is not able to see whether I should continue to teach them or not, right? In stanza 2, shall I take my last dear fuel of life to heap on my soul and kindle my will to a flame that shall consume their dross of indifference and take the toll of their insults punishment, I will not. So here what poet tells us through these lines, that shall I take my last dear fuel of life to heap on my soul. Now here he said that should I use my energy, should I use fuel of my life, energy of my life to heap on my soul, which is that means which is pile on my soul, and that my soul, his soul is enforcing him, his soul is forcing him to teach, his soul is not permitting him to be a silent spectator to watch his students, but his soul is that motivating him, or we can say soul is speaking to him that you should do something to do justice for your job. So here he had used my last dear fuel of life to heap on my soul and kindle my will to a flame that shall consume. So he said that he should inflame the flame, he should kindle means inflame my will to a flame that shall consume their dross of indifference and take the toll. So his students have dross of indifference. Dross means there is lot of indifference, there is lot of that is different ideology. Students have different thinking. One student is interested in something, doing something, another is doing something, and another is doing something. So there is indifference between these students. Of their insults and punishment I will not. So he said that of their insults and punishment. So when they are not they are doing their own work, they are not interested in the teacher, they are not interested on the board, they are not interested in their books. The books are lying here and there. This makes the poet that it is insult for him, it is punishment for him. So I will not. Here he used again enjambment, which the poetic device. I will not. I will not. That means I am not going to start. Right? Again I will not. In previous line also it was used I will not, and again I will not waste my soul and my strength for this. Now in the previous line we saw that he is asking himself a question whether I should can I satisfy my soul by being a silent spectator, or then he himself motivates himself that I will not waste my soul. Then he is motivating himself that I should not waste my soul, why should not waste my own soul and my strength for this, because if I will start to teach, they are not interested at all to learn. So I will not waste. What do I care for all that they do amiss? So he said that what do I care for all that they do amiss? That means why I should care for the pupil. Why should I care that which is not going to give any result? What is the point of this teaching of mine and of this? Why should I teach if they are not interested? Why should I teach? Why should I waste my energy? Learning of theirs, it all goes down the same abyss. And what is learning of theirs? Because it is not going to yield any result. It is going to in a bottomless hole, but because if I will teach, it is not going to give any result. No one is going to learn. So it's why here you used here abyss. That means which is not going to give him any result, because they are interested in their own learning. They are interested in their own amusement or something else. So here poet had again a pessimistic view that I will not waste my soul, and what is the point of this teaching of mine and of this their learning? Why should they learn? Because they are not interested to learn. What does it matter to me if they can write? What does it matter to me if a description of a dog, or if they can't? So here writer says, or we can say poet says, that what does it matter to me if they can write? Whether they can write a description of dog or not, it doesn't matter for me. And what is the point to us both? It's all my aunt. So because there is lot of indifference among the students, they are totally not interested in learning. So what does it matter to me if they cannot write? If they can write, whether they can write on description of a dog, or they cannot write. Whether they can write or not on description of a dog, it does not matter for me. It means he is so disturbed here. He tells himself that it does not matter whether they can do something or not. It does not matter for me. What is the point to us both? It is all my aunt. It is all my aunt. So what is the point? So what is the point? What is the purpose of teaching? To us both. Both means to the teacher and to the students. It is all my aunt. Why it is? Why the phrase has been used? It is all my aunt. That means it is waste of time. It is waste of time. It's all my aunt means it's waste of time to teach to them and their learning also. And yet I am supposed to care with all my might. However, he knew that it is not. It is useless to teach, and he is not interested in teaching. They are not interested in learning. Sorry, and yet I am supposed to care with all my might. So, but I am supposed to care. That means the officers of that his principal, his higher authorities expect that he should teach students whether they are interested or not. Here he had also given us one view that whether we should teach if any subject to the students which they are not interested, whether we should teach the students at that time when they are not interested. But here he said that I am supposed to care. That means he is supposed to care from his higher authorities to take care of his students. Right? So moving ahead. I do not and will not, they will not, they do not. I do not and will not. I do not start and they will not learn. They will not and they do not. They will not learn and they will not do any activity. And that's all. This is the story. This is the story of this classroom, right? I shall keep my strength for myself. So he had decided here, I shall keep my strength for myself. I should not waste it means I should not teach in the class now. They can keep theirs as well. They also can keep their strength. Why should we beat our head against the wall? Again here, beat head against the wall. So here he had used this phrase because beating head against the wall, if I will start beating head with this wall, what will be the result? My head will break down, but there will be no harm to this wall, or there will be no effect on this wall. So why should we beat our head against the wall of each other? I shall sit and wait for the bell. Now he had decided I shall sit on this chair and wait for the bell. When will bell ring and the school will be off and I will leave the class. Students will leave the class. I will leave the class. This is what he had decided at the end. So there are several poetic devices which had been used by the poet in this poem. Tone, it is the writer's attitude and mood towards the subject or audience. In this poem, the mood is pessimistic, right? So already I said that this is in pessimistic mood. Theoretical question, those questions which are asked, which are not asked for any response. That should I teach or not? Should I teach or not? This is not that I'm asking this question to get response from you. So this question had been asked just for my own query. So these questions are called, this type of questions are called theoretical question. So when will the bell ring and this veriness? So here question mark had been, this is not question, this question had not been asked to the students, but it is for his own query whether he should start, when will the bell ring, when will bell ring and his tiredness will come to end. If these type of questions are asked, these are called theoretical question. Then it's metaphor. Comparing two things, two different entities, different ideas. The pack of unruly hounds. That means these his students, he had compared these students with the unruly hounds, unruly, that uncontrolled dogs. Then what is the conclusion we get from this poem? A teacher should not get disappointed if students do not show positive response to learning knowledge. If he finds that student response is cold towards studies or his lectures, he should not express his anger, waste his time and energy. So if students are not interested, so he should not waste his energy to show anger or waste his time, so forcing them to stay in the class. Rather, he should let them to take a break and do the work their way, right? However, he should not stop practicing new methods to inspire the students and give his best to them, right? Similarly, students ought to respect their teachers and while in the class pay sound attention towards the teachers' lectures. This is what conclusion we can get. The students should also ought to be respect their teachers, and while in the class they should pay attention towards the teachers, right? This is the attitude of our teachers. If they are not summary in detail, if we'll have some little look on, we cannot that I think whole poem had been described. Now we will have little look on this. Last lesson of the afternoon is a poem written by Lawrence. His main theme about the poet, the end of poet's teaching career. This poem is about his career when the frustration of the work has gotten to him. The poem is written through the eyes of a teacher, but it shows a negative approach by the students and the teacher. The poet begins his poem by yawning for the conclusion of the lesson. That is because his learners are uncontrolled and violent dogs who pull themselves apart different direction without thinking. The learners should be like hunting. Because learners should be like hunting, but here they are unruly hounds, dogs which searches for its prey, which should search for their prey. When to get prey means knowledge, with great excitement, except that they should hunt knowledge, right? This is what poet want to say in this poem to us, right? But Lawrence says his learners have lost their zest for hunting, but his learners are not interested in hunting today. So they have to be pulled and coaxed, but no longer hunt for a natural desire. His learners also make horrible mistakes that he cannot bear, right? He becomes very angry of them, although he was dedicated his life to enable his learners to learn, right? Here he is asking so many time questions to his soul. That means he is a dedicated teacher, but his students had lost their interest in studies on that day, right? So this is the poet's decision is essentially to stop wasting. So he decided to not to waste his time, and he thinks that students are also not interested. And he also in one of the verses he says that I don't care whether they can write the description of dog or not. It does not matter. And now moving ahead, this is the summary. The poet does not simply set out look at the relationship between the teachers and the people, but to express a frame of mind, extreme anxiety. That is, this poem is written towards the end of the poet's teaching career, when the frustration of the work has gotten to him. Accordingly, he expresses his anger at the British educational system, which instruct that he treat all learners alike little roses to be cultivated, whereas most of them are in fact not in all but singing nettles. At last lesson of the afternoon express a mood of bitter desperation at the thanklessness of English teachers' work and details of his thought. So we can draw so many conclusions here, that because this our teaching is we consider all students equal. If someone is interested in that singing, he is also in classroom. If someone is interested in dancing, he is also in classroom. If someone is interested in playing, he is also in classroom. So there is dross of indifference in classroom, yet they are that expected, they are supposed to learn what the